Hello and welcome to Your Print Institute's Mastering Rasterlink online course. Rasterlink is the RIP software that powers Mimaki printers. In this series, we will be exploring the different tools that Mimaki Rasterlink has to offer to help you get the most out of both the RIP and your printer. Let's take a look at the Jig Print function. This function is available for the Mimaki LED UV flatbed range. The Jig Print feature allows you to print multiples of the same object without the need of purchasing an actual jig. This feature works best when the product can be placed directly onto the flatbed. Let's get started. First, open your artwork as normal in Rasterlink. We will be printing notebooks for use in the Your Print Institute on the Mimaki UJF 3042 Mark II LED UV flatbed. If your design requires either a white or clear ink layer, this must be set up first. We will use the special plate function to create a white layer under our design as we're printing onto blue notebooks. Set up the layer selecting white valid pixel, so the white is only printed where our design is and composite automatically. Now we've set up the artwork, we can create our jig. Select the Jig Print function on the right-hand side of the screen. Selecting this changes the window layout to show the default jig setup with our artwork. Tick Jig Print to make the Jig Print window active and allow us to create our new jig. To do this, we need to name a new jig and then click the green plus button. We can now edit the default jig to fit our notebook using the Jig Definition tab. Jig size refers to the print area of the flatbed. This is automatically set to 300 by 420 mm and usually doesn't require changing. Position and deskew can be left at 0. Next up, we need to create the material size. This refers to the size of the object that will be printed. We can then adjust the quantity that will fit on our flatbed using counts. In this case, we can fit 2 notebooks across by 2 notebooks up. The gap between each item can also be adjusted using intervals and position. We can also select how the artwork is placed and aligned within each jig using layout. Generally, centre alignment works well for a lot of items. Place a sheet of A3 paper onto the flatbed table. Once the jig layout has been created, we can now print this onto a piece of A3 paper by selecting the green Print Jig outline button at the top of the window. The jig layout will appear as a separate job in your print queue and will automatically rip and print. Once printed, we can now place our notebooks on the flatbed, ready for printing. In the Jig Print window, select the Jig Layout tab. Our artwork is automatically placed in the first outline. The quantity can then be increased to fill the jig. You can also rotate and reverse the artwork if required. Select the execution button found under Jig Print on the right of the screen to rip and print your artwork.